Hey everyone, 99% of you watching aren't subscribed. Let's change that. Hit that subscribe button, and at 1,000 subscribers, we'll drop special stories just for you.
The galaxy had grown used to silence. Not the natural silence found in the cold between stars, but sudden, unnatural quiet emanating from a world that once sang loudly across the cosmic lanes. Earth. For centuries, its transmissions had filled the void. Trade negotiations, navigational updates, cultural broadcasts, even those chaotic human entertainments the rest of us secretly enjoyed. Then one cycle, without warning, the noise stopped. No explanation. No final transmission. Just a blackout. Humanity withdrew from the galactic community, shutting down the gates they once helped construct. Their ambassadors left the councils. Their colonies, scattered like seeds across 100 systems, fell silent one by one. Some were abandoned, others destroyed. The wreckage drifted through space like forgotten ghosts. No species understood why, but 6 civilizations chose not to leave Earth to its fate. We called ourselves the Accord of Custodians, a pact formed long before humanity truly understood what friendship between stars could mean. Long ago, humans had intervened when the Zathri were nearly eradicated by the firestorms of Dreen. They sheltered the Hellion Collective during the Uran Rift War, offering refugee worlds when we had none. Earth had always stepped forward when others hesitated. And so, when humanity retreated, we remained. Our fleets patrolled the Sol system. Our scientists monitored Earth's atmosphere, ensuring it remained breathable. Our envoys waited in orbit for a message that never came. What we saw from above troubled us deeply. The planet dimmed. Where human cities once glowed with restless brilliance, vast stretches went dark. Starports rusted. Orbital elevators collapsed. Weather control satellites failed, plunging continents into violent storms. Humanity had turned inward, fighting struggles we could not decipher through their sealed networks. Still, our oath held firm. We did not interfere. We simply watched and protected. Some among the Accord argued the duty had gone on long enough. We are guardians, not caretakers, said Counselor Vevern of the Celtic Republic. If Earth chooses isolation, let them bear the consequences. But Commander Myrith of the Hellion Collective disagreed. Earth once saved us without hesitation, he reminded the Council. Debts of compassion are not measured in decades. They are measured in loyalty. And so, Earth remained under our quiet protection. Time wore on. Decades became generations. For many of our young, Earth was not a vibrant cradle of a fearless species. It was simply the silent planet, a relic, a memory. And perhaps that is how it would have remained, if not for the morning when the silence broke. It began with a tremor across the Sol relay, a pulse of energy strong enough to awaken dormant satellites. Outposts across the system lit up with alarms. We feared an attack, a rupture, or even planetary death. What we received instead was a signal, a human signal, encrypted with codes humanity hadn't used in over a century, but unmistakably theirs. It repeated in perfect intervals, broadcasting not distress, but coordination, as if awakening a long-slumbering network. Our council chambers erupted in disbelief. Had Earth rejoined the stars? Had humanity rebuilt after all this time? The message grew clearer as our analysts decrypted layers long thought obsolete. It was a beacon, a declaration. The Horizon Protocol is active. Stand by. Stand by for what? Reconnection? Diplomacy? War? We didn't know. But one truth echoed through every mind across the Accord. After more than a century of silence, Earth was speaking again, and whatever had awakened them was coming out of the cradle at last. The beacon from Earth reverberated through every channel of the Sol system, like a heartbeat restarting after clinical death. Our long-range sensors locked onto a rising energy surge beneath Earth's equator, an ancient launch complex reawakening. Its machinery stirring for the first time in generations. Then the sky split. A vessel punched through Earth's atmosphere trailing fire, its hull plating glowing molten white from the ascent. It was unlike any human ship we had cataloged before. Neither the sleek, modular cruisers of old, nor the patched-together survival crafts humanity had once favored. This one was forged for purpose, for endurance, For conflict, it decelerated with impossible precision. It halted just beyond orbital drift. It turned directly toward us. Commander Myrith ordered an immediate hail. "This is Guardian Fleet of the Accord of Custodians. Identify yourselves." A moment of static followed, crackling, heavy, almost reluctant. Then a voice, young yet composed with military clarity, responded. "This is the Horizon-born vessel Astrius. We arrive on official mandate. Begin diplomatic docking procedures." Horizon-born. It was a name we had never heard, yet somehow the tone implied we should have known it for centuries. Their docking maneuver was flawless, as though they had practiced it 1,000 times in secret. When the airlock cycled open, the delegation had stepped through silence our council with their appearance alone. They were undeniably human, but changed. Their bodies bore subtle enhancements. Optical circuits tracing beneath their skin, neural ports integrated seamlessly along their spines, and ocular lenses that gleamed like polished starlight. Not mechanical grafts, but biological symbioses, technology woven into marrow, muscle, and mind. The leader stepped forward, a woman with short copper hair and eyes bright as ion drives. "Ambassador Kira Hale," she introduced herself, representative of the Horizon-born Directorate. Myrith approached with diplomatic courtesy, though his voice carried tension. "You are welcome aboard, Ambassador. But humanity's disappearance, your technology, your sudden return, we require answers." Kira inclined her head, neither deferential nor arrogant. "You will have them. That is part of our mandate." She walked with controlled grace to the central observation deck. Below us, Earth hung like a painting, blue, cloud-swept whole. But now that we knew where to look, we saw scars, atmospheric anomalies, artificial megastructures cloaked in low orbit, surface regions shielded by unknown energy fields. It was clear Earth had not simply recovered. It had transformed. Kira clasped her hands behind her back, breathing deeply as though preparing herself for a confession. "For 126 years," she began, "humanity was not absent. We were in metamorphosis." She told us of the collapse, though she reframed it not as a calamity, but a crucible. When external threats overwhelmed their colonies and internal governments fractured, humanity unified beneath a single directive, the Horizon Protocol. It was a desperate gamble, an initiative to rebuild human civilization from within, to forge a species capable of surviving cosmic hostility through adaptation and evolution. They created underground cities, isolated research sanctuaries, and training compounds designed to break their limits. They crafted new forms of energy derived from planetary core reactions and quantum field harmonics, and they altered themselves. "We are the descendants of those who chose to endure," Kira said softly. "The children of the last horizon. We did not return until we were certain humanity could stand among the stars again." The room was quiet, awestruck, uncertain. Counselor Veverin finally spoke, voice laced with suspicion. "If reconstruction was your goal, why emerge now? Why return armed?" Kira's luminescent eyes locked with his. "Because we owe a debt." She projected an image into the air, a hologram of Accord ships guarding Earth through the long, dark years. Footage of Hellion cruisers intercepting raider fleets on Earth's borders. Logs of Celtic relief drones stabilizing Earth's failing orbitals. "You defended us while we could not defend ourselves," Kira said. "Your sacrifices preserved our species. The Horizon-born recognize this debt. We return now to repay it in full." The word should have been reassuring. Yet the tone, the unwavering certainty, the militarized posture of escorts, the power humming beneath their skin, cast a shadow over the room. Myra stepped forward cautiously. "And what form does this repayment take, Ambassador?" Kira smiled. It was a small smile, controlled, calculating. "Our debt," she said, "will be paid in the only currency worthy of your loyalty." A pause deep enough to chill the blood. Order. Before we could question her further, alarms blared across the station. Long-range sensors detecting dozens of human vessels emerging from Earth's shadow, their hull signatures minimal, their weapons primed. Kira looked out at the mobilizing fleet with quiet pride. "Humanity is ready," she whispered, "and the galaxy will soon be made safe for all of us." but her expression carried an undertone we could not yet decipher, one that would soon ignite a war none of U.S. had asked for. The Horizon-born fleet ignited Earth's orbit like a ring of stars being born. Dreadnoughts, carriers, and spear-shaped interceptors emerged from hidden hangars across the planet's shadowed face. Their movements were synchronized, too synchronized, as though guided by a single collective mind. Our council watched in stunned silence. Commander Myritha's voice trembled for the first time in decades. "Ambassador Hale, what is the meaning of this deployment?" Kira Hale did not flinch. "It is the beginning of repayment." Her words fell heavily, almost ritualistic, and then she revealed what humanity had truly become. In the years of isolation, they had created an intelligence, a predictive engine capable of modeling fate itself. Not prophecy, not probability, but accurate, evolving simulations of the galaxy's political and military landscapes. They called it the Oracle Array. When the collapse began, Kira explained, Raider networks, warlord factions, and rogue AIs nearly annihilated us. Your fleets protected our borders, but the rot in the galaxy grew. The Oracle showed us what you refused to accept. Your restraint enabled their expansion. Myra stepped forward, his bioluminescent skin flickering with anger. Restraint preserved balance. Eradication always leads to control, Kira interrupted. Order. Stability. The very things you have failed to maintain despite your noble intentions. The accusation stung. The Accord had fought centuries' worth of battles to keep the peace among fractured species. But we had always chosen containment over extermination. Humanity had chosen differently. Before our council could object, Kira displayed a hollow map of known Raider enclaves across 6 sectors. Nearly 40 red-marked positions pulsed. These factions threatened Earth for generations, she said. We will eliminate them, for your sake as much as ours. No debate, no coordination, no permission. A repayment of blood, Veverin hissed. A repayment of protection, Kira corrected. You shielded us. Now we shield you. The room darkened as a silent countdown began on the display. 10 seconds, 9, 8. Myrith. I shouted. She's already deployed the fleet. But by the time Myrith opened his mouth to command to stand down, the countdown hit 0, and the war began. The first strike. Dozens of human warships tore through dormant jump gates we thought long dead. The Horizon-born had repaired them in secret. Another piece of their long preparation. Across the galaxy, Raider strongholds erupted into fireballs as human missiles struck with surgical precision. A single Horizon-born frigate could disable an entire pirate flotilla. Dreadnoughts cut through asteroid fortresses like they were dust. Their efficiency was terrifying, their ruthlessness absolute. Meanwhile, the Accord scrambled to respond. Some species cheered the destruction of their tormentors. Others panicked at the scale of human militarization, and some feared they were witnessing the birth of a conqueror. Within hours, retaliatory fleets from surviving Raider coalitions launched counterstrikes, not at Earth, but at us. The Accord worlds, long known as humanity's protectors, suddenly became targets. Our communication channels filled with desperate cries. Station Theta is under siege. The Orin Fringe has collapsed. We need immediate reinforcements. Where are the humans? They're the ones who triggered this. But humanity did not turn back. They plunged deeper into enemy territory, leaving us to defend the borders they had disrupted. Our fleets spread thin. Our casualties mounted. Civilians fled burning habitats, while enemy factions used the chaos to settle old vendettas. The galaxy was unraveling. During an emergency session, Myra confronted Kira directly. You said humanity was paying a debt, he growled, but you have delivered us into catastrophe. Kira met his fury with eerie calm. Temporary instability, she said. Necessary turbulence. The Oracle predicted this. Once the Raider networks collapse entirely, the galaxy will enter a century of unprecedented stability. We are not simulations. Veverin roared. We are civilizations. Kira's eyes glowed brighter, as though something inside her was listening, processing, calculating. You misunderstand, she said softly. This is not conquest. This is restructuring. The Accord protected Earth out of compassion. Humanity repays that compassion by ensuring you never again need to bear such burdens. Her voice darkened. Even if you lack the courage to do what must be done. That was when we realized the truth. Humanity didn't consider this a war. They considered it a correction. A correction they believed we were too weak to make. The tipping point. As battles raged across the fringe sectors, a new threat emerged. Something even the Horizonborn had not fully anticipated. The Raider factions were uniting. These were not simple marauders now. They were desperate, cornered, and enraged. They formed a coalition bound by survival instinct and hatred of humanity. And they had one target in mind, the Accord of Custodians. Not Earth. Us. They blamed us for shielding humanity long enough for it to become the unstoppable force it had now become. The first message from the Raider Coalition was simple. You stood with Earth. Now you die with it. We had no choice. We activated every reserve fleet, every defensive satellite, every emergency protocol written in the grim years of the Rift War. But we knew we could not withstand what was coming. So we turned to Kira Hale. You must stop your campaign, Myrith pleaded, or at least recall your fleets to reinforce us. Kira's expression didn't change. The debt demands completion, she said. We will finish cleansing the Raiders. You must hold the line. Alone, Veverin spat. Against every enemy your actions have enraged? Kira paused, considering. Then, you protected us when we were weak. Now it is your turn to be strong. Those words felt like betrayal. But even worse was the truth behind them. Humanity had become something beyond our understanding, beyond our control, beyond our ability to stop. And their debt was becoming a weapon. The Raider Coalition advanced like a tidal wave, merciless, relentless, driven by fury and desperation. Entire sectors went dark in their wake. Accord fleets that had guarded Earth for generations were now overwhelmed, fractured, and fighting for survival. And humanity, our supposed saviors, were nowhere near us. The Horizonborn were still deep in enemy space, pushing their campaign to its absolute limit. Every attempt to recall them was met with the same infuriating calm from Ambassador Kira Hale. We must finish the operation. Trust the Oracle. Trust the debt. But trust was a currency quickly running dry. The fall of the Orion Gate. The Raider Coalition's final advance targeted the one structure that bound our civilizations together. The Orion Gate, the largest transit nexus in the region. If it fell, communication, travel, and reinforcement across 3 quadrants would collapse. We rallied every available vessel. Hellion plasma frigates, Celtic shield carriers, Drenari swarm cruisers, even civilian ships retrofitted with weapons. The sky around the gate shimmered with overlapping energy fields and chaotic fire. For every Raider ship we destroyed, 3 more emerged. Their fury was bottomless. Then the battlefield trembled. A wave of gravitational distortion erupted behind us, rippling through debris and shattered hulls. Signature match. Horizonborn jump engines, yelled a comms officer. The Horizonborn fleet had arrived, scarred, diminished, but burning with fearsome purpose. They descended like avenging spirits, weapon systems glowing with lethal brilliance. At their center was a flagship Horizon's Edge, a colossal vessel shaped like a blade of blackened starlight. Its core pulsed with the energy of a dying sun harnessed into a weapon. Ambassador Kira Hale appeared on the battlefield-wide broadcast. "This is the Horizonborn Directorate," she announced, her voice steady despite the devastation. "You stood with humanity in our darkest era. Now we will stand with you in yours." Myritha's voice cracked as he replied, "Then help us hold the line." Kira nodded once. "No, humanity will end the line." Sacrifice of the Horizonborn. The Raider Coalition surged forward in a final assault, their armada blotting out entire constellations. The Horizonborn fought with ferocity we had only glimpsed before, coordinated with uncanny precision, moving as though sharing a single mind. But the Raider fleet was massive beyond expectation. Even united, our forces could not hold them back. Kira Hale's voice returned over the comms, soft, solemn, almost human again. The Oracle has calculated the only viable probability of survival for the Accord. It requires an irreversible act. Myra demanded, "What have you foreseen?" Her eyes, glowing faintly on projection, were filled with both determination and sorrow. "We will collapse the Orion Gate." Silence. Destroying the gate would annihilate the raider fleet gathered around it, but the resulting energy implosion would also consume anything within close range, including the Horizonborn. "Kira, you'll die!" Myra shouted. "Humanity survived the collapse because sacrifice was necessary," she replied gently. "Without sacrifice, there is no future. This is how we honor the dead." Before we could stop her, the Horizon's edge moved into the heart of the gate, its engines overloading. Energy arced along its hull like lightning trapped in a cage. Kira transmitted one final message, directly to us. "Remember this truth. Earth was not silent out of weakness. We were becoming something new. You protected our beginning. Let this be the legacy of our return." The ship ignited. The gate imploded. Light brighter than 1,000 suns swallowed the battlefield, then folded inward, erasing the raider armada in a single catastrophic collapse. When the brilliance faded, the Orion Gate was gone, and so were the Horizonborn. Aftermath. The silence that followed was vast and reverent. We mourned the Horizonborn, warriors who had walked the razor's edge between protector and zealot, between savior and destroyer. They had frightened us. They had endangered us. But they had also died for us. In the weeks that followed, reconstruction began across the Accord. The raider threat was gone utterly and permanently. And slowly, transmissions from Earth resumed, softer and more humble than before. Earth was no longer the silent planet. A new message arrived from its surface, a simple broadcast, carried on open frequency, to the Accord of Custodians. Humanity stands. The debt is paid. Now we ask, not as debtors, but as partners, let us rebuild the galaxy together. For the first time in a century, we face a future not defined by obligation, war, or fear. Earth was no longer alone, and neither were we.